The year is 2025. The world watches as the conflict in Ukraine shows no signs of abating. The war has taken a heavy toll on both the military and civilian populations, with cities in ruins and countless lives disrupted. The war in Ukraine continues. The international community remains deeply concerned, and the situation grows more complex by the day. Amidst the conflict, a controversial proposal from the United States has emerged. This proposal has sparked intense debate and raised many questions about the future of Ukraine. The Trump administration has proposed a deal for a 50% share of revenue from Ukraine's key resources. This includes minerals, oil, gas, and strategic infrastructure. The proposal is seen by some as a lifeline for Ukraine's struggling economy, while others view it as an opportunistic move by the U.S. Presented by Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent in Kiev, the proposal met fierce resistance from President Zelensky. Zelensky and his administration argue that the deal would compromise Ukraine's sovereignty and control over its own resources. Critics argue it exploits Ukraine's vulnerable position and undermines its sovereignty. Protests have erupted across the country, with citizens demanding that their government reject the proposal outright. The stakes are high, with far-reaching implications for both nations. The outcome of these negotiations could redefine the geopolitical landscape and set a precedent for future international agreements. The outcome of these negotiations will be pivotal. The world waits with bated breath to see how this controversial proposal will shape the future of Ukraine and its relationship with the United States. President Zelensky's response to the proposal was a resounding no. He made it clear that Ukraine's sovereignty and security were non-negotiable. He rejected the deal, citing the lack of concrete security guarantees. Zelensky emphasized that without solid assurances, any agreement would be meaningless. Zelensky insisted any agreement must include advanced weaponry, intelligence sharing, and a clear path to NATO membership. He argued that these elements were essential for Ukraine's defense and future stability. He argued the deal undermined Ukraine's right to control its destiny. Zelensky passionately conveyed that Ukraine must have the ability to make its own decisions without external pressure. Zelensky's stance resonated with many Ukrainians, viewing the deal as an affront to national pride. The public support for Zelensky grew as they saw him standing firm for their nation's sovereignty. Former President Trump criticized Zelensky, accusing him of ingratitude. Trump argued that the U.S. had provided significant aid and expected more cooperation in return. Zelensky responded firmly, thanking the U.S. but rejecting Trump's rhetoric. He reiterated that Ukraine's independence and security were paramount. This public spat highlighted the deep mistrust between the two leaders. The tension was palpable, reflecting broader geopolitical struggles. The Trump administration now had to decide its next move. The future of U.S.-Ukraine relations hung in the balance, with significant implications for both nations. Navigating the diplomatic storm was no easy task. The political landscape was fraught with tension and uncertainty, making every decision critical. The Trump administration faced the challenge of recalibrating its approach. Balancing domestic pressures with international expectations required a delicate touch. The stakes were high, with the international community watching closely. Every move was scrutinized, and the margin for error was slim. The U.S. had to avoid alienating a key ally while protecting its interests. Diplomatic finesse was essential to maintain a balance. Zelensky needed to maintain domestic support and Western alliances. His leadership was under constant scrutiny from both his citizens and international partners. His administration emphasized Ukraine's right to self-determination. This stance resonated deeply with the Ukrainian people and their desire for sovereignty. The diplomatic back and forth continued, highlighting the complexities of international diplomacy. Each negotiation brought new challenges and opportunities for both nations. The uncertain future of the deal loomed large. The Trump administration began to show signs of flexibility. A cooperative approach seemed more sustainable. For Ukraine, securing robust security guarantees and fair terms was paramount. The international community offered mediation and support. The commitment to finding a way forward was evident. The world watched, hopeful for a fair and equitable agreement.